My Uncle James, one of the greatest generations of our country, served our country in World War II in Korea. Having a talk with him this morning, and I think it's a great opportunity for this. This is Christmas Day 2017. I'm at Uncle James's house, and we're just going to talk, and whatever he feels comfortable sharing with us, we'll be more than happy to enjoy and record this for the purpose of a treasure, actually, in my mind, to listen to some of those things that transpired that affected so many of our lives that many of us don't even know anything about. So, Uncle James, I just appreciate you taking this time for me, where we just share what, like say, you're comfortable with. We don't want to make you uncomfortable in any manner. But okay. we would just like to hear a little bit about things and where you were, and how what happened in your life. This sounds that's yours there. We got a phone call.
Yeah, I was born in Heber Springs, Arkansas, in 1924.
In Arkansas, okay.
Yeah. And my parents moved back here when I was 2 years old, and when I became 18, I got a little notice from Uncle Sam that he needed me. So I was drafted in service in 1943 and went up to Camp Forest, Tennessee, from there to Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, and then to Camp Stewart, and had my basic training at Camp Stewart, Georgia, in the Coast Artillery and aircraft. And from there, I was sent to Virginia, infantry training, 6 weeks infantry training, there to Europe, wound up going into Brest, France. That was my first combat. And I was second scout in an infantry division. And I was in a coastal rifle platoon. And first head row, he got the captain's leg blew off, and I was first scout. And so we went on through from took Brest, France, and went on through the Ardennes over in Belgium.
As a scout, when they had you as a scout, what was the job of a scout at that time?
You were the first man out.
Okay.
You were no one but between you and the enemy, just you.
Okay.
Then of course the other people followed behind you. And then you have another platoon or something move over, 100 yards or whatever distance they are from each side. Usually have a group moving up. And if you made it, you were lucky.
I guess, yeah.
And
put you in a very bad spot.
Yeah, we moved into the Ardennes, and we were told no man's land until 10th of December in the Ardennes, and they moved us north to take the Ruhr dams, and we was taking the pillbox. That's the Siegfried line, taking the pillboxes, and then the Germans made their attack. What they call the Battle of the Bulge.
Okay.
So they was coming in behind us, so we moved back to the town of Rockrath, Belgium. And from there, well, we stopped the Germans and had orders to move to Elsenborn Ridge. And they came up, I left the Ark on the 19th of December 1944 and said we're moving out. And we was in the basement of the building, and one much left because tanks and mortars and artillery pretty well started the upper part of the house. It's a 3-story house. We were in the basement. It took us a little while to get out because all the building material fell down around the hole. There's 17 of us, and when we got out to scout, the runner is gone. We didn't know which way to go. We just knew west was back towards the American line. So we came out through the German line. It was real foggy, and the only light we had was our heavy artillery coming just a block away. They kept moving it because we were supposed to be out of there, And so we came out through the Germans. We wasn't talking. We just just kept walking. And we got away from them, and by daylight the next morning we ran into the 99th Division.
It was winter time at that time, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was in December, 19th of December.
Okay.
And on the 20th of December, we run into the 99th, a regiment of the 99th moving south. They moving to the Elsinborn Ridge. And they thought we were German paratroopers in American uniforms. You know, they dropped paratroopers out to disrupt the signs and, you know, and communication, whatever they could disrupt. You know, they didn't come out trying to take the land. They just tried to disrupt communications and whatever. And the old colonel was in charge of the regiment. He wanted to line us up and shoot us, and they finally decided, they interrogated us and finally decided we were Americans.
So you were captured by your own people, thinking you were Germans.
They'd only been over about, not over 2 weeks. There's a new outfit over there. They'd been shot up pretty bad by the Germans, and they's moving, well, south and west toward the Elsinborn Ridge. That's where everybody's trying to get set up and had the heavy artillery. We had all the heavy artillery back there. And that's where we stopped the Germans. But they kept all 17 of us about, well, until, I believe, the 22nd of December. And they started to release us, but they just said, well, we don't know where the outfit's at. Just go look. They want to stay with him. Because we'd been there a few months, and I guess he called us, we was seasoned troops. And they wanted to stay with them because they knew. They hadn't been there about 2 weeks. And we told them, no, we want to go back to our outfit. We started moving, well, south, and we heard 105 artillery going off. We thought maybe it was some of our artillery. And we went back, and it was our 38th Artillery, which was back in my regiment, which was the 38th Infantry. And so they directed us back where my outfit, my company was. And of course, by that time, it was already going about a 6-inch snow, and our feet was wet from the snow had come before and melted. And of course, that being our regular outfit, we didn't have any dry socks. And we got back and it started snowing, and the temperature was dropped back in, well, close to zero. My feet froze and going about a 2-foot snow. And of course, he's up on the side of the ridge and wind blowing, and down in the valleys, the snow got 6 foot deep, you know, down the road places. And I went back to the battalion, medical battalion, and got the circulation going on my feet. I was lucky. Some of the other guys had to have their feet taken off. They lost their feet. And I got circulation back in mine. And that night they sent me back up with my outfits, you know. And the machine gun squad was down to 1 man, and they asked me to stay with this machine gun squad, which I was the infantry, you know, rifleman. And so I stayed with the machine gun, the underbulls, and we stopped the Germans, but the Germans come to our right below us and went to Mommy. That's where they killed, I think, 180 something, you know, captured them and lined the Americans up and killed 180 something. I have pictures of when the snow melted, they found them where they had, you know, mowed them down with machine guns. Yeah. And then we started moving forward and taking the land back and took the towns back that we had left, you know. And from then on, I was with machine guns, and then we lost a squad leader, and they made me squad leader. I was machine gun squad leader the rest of the war. And
so what kind of machine gun were they using then?
30 caliber air cool, 30 caliber.
Okay. Was that, what model was that called? I think, you remember?
No, I don't.
I think I've seen some of those, but
yeah, it's air cool.
Okay.
30 caliber.
Okay.
And they have a water cool.
Right.
And
the water cooler has a big round
and then
thing on
hell water going to it.
Yeah.
But they have that in the weapons platoons.
Okay.
The rifle platoon just had air crew because you carried it on the shoulder. We carried everything across Europe. And
they were heavy too.
Well, pretty heavy. Then you had to carry the ammo.
Yeah.
And then after things kind of settled down, we started attacking and retaking the land that we breached through from. And which we was in Hellerath and Crinkhill, little towns that we lost, and we retook that and then just kept moving on across. We went to Remagen, where they were crossing the Rhine. Remagen Bridge is crossing an engineering boat, little, probably a 14-foot boat, just like a fishing boat. And we crossed that. And then went into Leipzig, and we got ambushed with an anti-aircraft, that 120 millimeter anti-aircraft. And I only had 2 men left out of my squad. That one killed, and one had the arm cut off. And the second leader had his leg all full of shrapnel. And I made my ammo bearer. I made a machine gun, and one machine gunner and a assistant machine gunner. And from there we made it on through Leipzig and up close to Berlin. We went south of Berlin, and then they moved us trucks down to the edge of Czechoslovakia with General Patton in the 3rd Army. We went into Pilsen, took Pilsen, and went in towards Prague and met the Germans at Prague, between Prague and Pilsen. And then went along till the war was over, because the Germans had come into us with a division, give up a division at a time, and they wanted to fight the Russians.
Okay.
And Patton, he did too, and we didn't. He wanted to, excuse me, get it over with. And then we was there about a month, and they put us on a train. There's 8 mules with 32 men, like the little boxcars, all the way across Europe, all the way back to France. And then we caught a ship back home.
That was
in 45.
45, yeah.
Yeah, the war ended. And they shipping us back to the States to go to Japan, to invade Japan. There's 5 divisions they sent back to go to and invade Japan. And luckily they dropped the bomb and give up. They told us we'd lose 1 million men going in Japan, invading Japan. And we was all afraid we might be one of them, because we knew it was going to be stiff resistance, to invading Japan. And when they dropped the bomb and they give up, we was some happy dudes.
Probably saved a lot of lives dropping the bomb.
It did. Well, they killed a lot of Japanese, but civilians and too. Hiroshima
and Nagasaki.
I think it's here. When I was going to Korea, I went through there. I mean, they kind of built back. That was in 1950. I was going to Korea, and they wouldn't even talk to the other towns you go through. They was real friendly, Japanese. That town, they wouldn't even speak to you anything. We drove a train to, and we stopped there for.
So you went through Japan going to Korea?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, when I went in the last time, I went to the Philippines, and I was there for several months when the war broke out in Korea. They froze everybody. You couldn't, wasn't anybody came back to the States. So we figured that we go to Korea and it'd be over, because it's supposed to be just a ragtag army. We'd go over and knock that out pretty quick, and we'd come back home. But it didn't work that way. Got over and had those new Russian T-34 tanks and all the good equipment. Most of that stuff was all wore out World War II equipment,
So they were better equipped than you were?
Yeah, they had better equipment. Had new tanks and all that stuff. It hadn't been maintained. The old trucks was wore out. And they almost pushed us back into ocean, you know, called the Pusan Permeter. And they kept sending more troops over, and we finally got enough over. We broke through and went all the way up into Pyongyang, North Korea, and then up within about 20 miles of the Yellow River, which is China, you know. And China told them, gave the word to MacArthur, if they wanted his children in reservoirs, they're going to send 1 million men across and push it back. I don't know how many they sent, a few 100,000 anyway, and pushed it back past the 38th parallel, you know. And then we finally got it organized and pushed back up above 38th. We never did go back to Pyongyang, North Korea, but at the time of my rotation, I come back home and...
So the Chosin Reservoir, well, that was a tough battle there.
Yeah, I was up to our right. I didn't go to Chosin, but it was a tough battle where we was at.
Yeah.
We lost a lot of people.
Yeah.
And...
Well, any battle's tough.
Huh?
Any battle is tough.
Oh, yeah.
If you're in it.
Yeah. Well, I was in World War II, but this time I was around supply, and I made sure I had plenty of clothes and everything this time, and you know, during Korea. And they had all this clothing on the runway there at Pyongyang at the airport, and hadn't issued it out. The same thing happened in Europe. They hadn't issued the clothes out. And that's the reason many of us lost our feet and everything. And I imagine, I don't know how many lost them over because you got 35 below in Korea. And the river froze where you used to drive a vehicle across the river.
Yeah. That was cold. Yeah, Korea was cold.
Yeah. And we were supposed to brew up all the clothing stuff. It should have been issued. And it was stacked up maybe 30 foot high, you know, with forklifts, you know, on the runway. And it was set afire and everything. I made the Chinese enjoy a lot of that clothing.
Yeah.
And North Korean.
So how long were you in Korea?
I was in Korea about 14 months.
14 months.
Yeah. And I come back in 51, come back to the States in 51. So we were one of the first ones went into Korea.
So you're right in the beginning of it.
Yeah.
That was probably some of the worst losses were in the beginning for us, wasn't it?
Yeah. Most disorganized and...
Yeah, they wasn't ready, were they?
No. And of course we got better equipment and more men over there to help, you know, more division, got the Marines down there with us. And then we pushed them back up past the 38th, and then that's where it had some kind of a march, armistice, what you call it? Anyway, agreement.
Yeah.
And which never did amount to too much, I don't think, but I know Burns' boy went over there. But that's after the fighting. He just on the 38th line. I think he did a little shooting back forth now and then, or maybe mortars, but it wasn't nothing like continuous. They had one place to stay, I understand. But that's about the main thing that happened to me.
How long were you there in Germany?
I went in I think July of 1944, and then came back. I left there in June of 45.
Okay, right at about a year, almost a year. That was a long year.
But the war was over then, but
yeah.
The war ended in May.
Right.
And we met the Russians there in Czechoslovakia.
So the war ended not long after the Battle of the Bulge then?
No, things went our way, but still a lot of people was killed. It's like,
sure.
Oh, he was moving up at night, about midnight. And I was thinking it was April the 13th, I'm not for sure, in 1945. And they had a heavy anti-aircraft around Leipzig, Germany. They had a 120 millimeter.
Okay.
And so we come up a ridge, and behind us was an airport where our plane just shot it up and it was on fire, and it made us a silhouette. And of course, that's their country. They knew exactly where everything was at. And us moving up the highway, and they started firing those anti-aircraft guns, and they exploded over my truck because they had machine guns and a motor crew riding the trucks and riflemen riding tanks. And it happened over there. I know he got several guys on the tanks and crippled them up, it was shrapnel. And I was lucky. I know I was sitting in the truck and something told me to get out of the truck. I got out of the truck and it exploded right at the back of the truck, and it killed one of my guys and cut one's arm off, and it wounded quite a few. And got a lot of the riflemen. I had 2 ammo bearers all left out of my squad.
And how many was it in a squad for you?
Well, see the rifles, it's a machine gunner, 6 machine gunner, and ammo bearers. 6.
6 in a squad?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then so many riflemen they were wounded. And I don't know how many more got killed. It wasn't that many, but mostly wounded with that shrapnel. And how I made it, I don't know. I was lucky.
Yeah, well, God was with you, that's for sure.
Yeah.
On that.
Also, several times, I'd be in a foxhole, somebody tell me to move, and I'd move, and a shell would come in. But I just...
What do you think was your closest call then?
Oh, I had many of them, because CG child was rifles all the time, machine guns. I know they could breast. We were moving up, and it was just going in the valley. You come down a slope, going in the valley, and we just like trying to shoot ducks on a pond, Several of them, that's where it was off. First scout, so I was first scout, moving down, and they firing on the machine gun, and we hit the ground, me and the guy VAR man. And the guy behind me hollered he was wounded. And so me and the VAR wanted to turn around and run back and got him and drug him back over the hedgerow. And he said he was hit in the leg, and they cut his pants leg off, and he wasn't hit there. And then he said his shoulder, and they started checking. Then somebody had to look at his backpack. Said, no, he wasn't hit. That shovel where you turn it, you screw it and turn it flat down. When he turned the head back to the radio, he got hit in that shovel. On that big knob, steel knob.
Yeah.
It knocked the breath out of him, knocked him down.
He wasn't hurt at all?
No. And I was laying down, and that machine gun was cutting right down the side of my face, knocking dirt in my face. And they fire 1,200 rounds a minute,
Yeah.
And I was many times you hear a bullet pop come by the ear, or just maybe you get by and some guy step on a mine behind you, or mortars come in, and you get the guys next to you, or you next guy to you get shot. I had many close calls.
Yeah, they're probably not just one.
In my division we lost 4,200 men killed.
Wow.
Had 15,000 wounded. I've got the history book. Kim and them has it down there. And they had 10,000 non-combat. They call it, you just get hurt, you fall and get hurt or something. Had 10,000 non-combat wounded. So it's pretty well a lot of rotation in the new guys coming in. A lot of time they didn't even get back to the outfit. They get knocked off before they get back. And if they stay with you a week, they'd hang around a while. Seemed like the first week, if you made it the first week, odds are you'd be with you a month or two.
So that first week you made a lot of mistakes, or
yeah,
that would cause you a lot of trouble?
Well, see, you learn the artillery, the sound of it, where it's going, where it's coming directly to you. Only 8/8, but if he's firing directly to you, it's there before you know it. A mortar, you didn't hear that till it went off. You might hear it pop when they fired it, but you never know where it's going. But the artillery, regular artillery, you hear it coming, and you know if it's coming to you, close to you, it's gonna go over your head pretty soon. It's see, a lot of things you pick up and learn. You get to find your foxhole and, or dig you one real quick. And when you're moving up, you learn about where they have a machine gun set up. They'd have what about a routine, how they set the machine guns up where, and you be more careful with mines. You know where to look, how to have a mine set up. But a lot of times we move up at night, especially through the forest, through the night, you hear some guy holler. Well, you hear it pop, the mine go off, and you hear him scream. He done lost part of his leg. He's what they call a bouncing bed. He come up.
I know what a bouncing bed. It comes up and explodes, yeah.
Yeah, he messed some people up in the lower part, and then you knew the mortars was coming in, because they knew about where you was at. So it was nerve-wracking.
Yeah, yeah. And I think I may have. You said you went to Germany in July of 40.
Well, went into France.
France.
44.
Went into France in 44. Okay.
I didn't go. I didn't go with the invasion. I went in.
Right.
Behind. And
okay.
I was
went to France, then up into Germany.
Yeah, I went to Brest, and we took Brest.
Yeah.
Brest. And then we moved in, went into Ardennes, went into Belgium, and into the Ardennes.
Okay.
And that's when, and then we got relieved by 100. I think it was the 106th Division. His new outfit straight from the States, and he put us take the rear dams because we afraid they're going to blow the dams, and that whole area would be flooded,
Yeah.
And about that time they made their attack, and we moved back to Rock Rest in Krinkelt, Germany, and set up there and stopped the first force, and then we moved to the Elsenborn Ridge, which was just a few miles further back. And then we had our heavy artillery. They had to set up. They said they didn't know they were coming, but they must have, because they really had the heavy artillery. And we stopped them there. They wanted to go to Antwerp and cut off our supplies and cut us off and eliminate us. But we're lucky we stopped them.
Did you carry M1 in the beginning of it?
Yeah.
What, they had the M1 Grand?
Yeah, and then when it was machine guns, I moved up, I carried a 45.
Okay. 45 with the machine gun that you had.
Yeah. And then squad leader went back to M1.
So you watched that TV series Band of Brothers?
I was part of it, yeah.
Yeah. Did that look like that portrayed it pretty well?
There's no way to do it.
There's no way to do it,
No way to do it. I guess it's close to you portray it. It's the real thing, and trying to portray it, there's no way.
Sure. What about the movie Saving Private Ryan? Did you see that one?
I saw part of it. They can't do it. There's no way.
You just can't capture on film the intensity.
Yeah. No.
What do you think's the main thing it misses that it can't do? Is the sound, the feel, the smell?
Well, yeah, you miss all that.
Yeah.
But still, you can't. You don't have the guys don't have the fear. It's not there because everybody's scared.
Yeah.
And
on the movies they don't show the fear.
Well, they can't.
Can't.
No, there's no way you can.
Because it's hard to show what the person's feeling, I guess.
Right, there's no way. No, I received some pictures the other day from my platoon. The guy, it come from a guy from the Netherlands. And then this friend of mine here, he's in the 2nd Division, he's in the 9th Regiment. They were trying to get in contact with me because I was in contact with this guy. It's from my company. These pictures from a weapons platoon. I don't know if I recognized any of them. The Band of Brothers was interested in those pictures. But Sugar, Hey, you know where that letter I got from Raby laying on my...
No, it was over on your desk.
Can you bring it to me, hon?
I don't know where it's at.
It's on the desk over
Which
there.
one with those pictures in it?
Yeah. And I don't know why the band of brothers interested in it, but it's interested in that. There's a picture of the mortar section. And they thought, well, I knew some of the guys, but not that well, because mortar section was always behind us, you know. And
The rifle platoons is one out front?
yeah. Yeah, 3 rifle
I told him this morning,
platoons,
if I
and each one,
take care of him.
and then they have a weapon platoon, which is mortars and machine gun, but the machine guns are always attached to those attacking platoon.
Wasn't being a machine gunner more dangerous than being a rifleman because the enemy would concentrate his fire toward the machine gunners more?
Yeah, when you fired that machine gun, it had tracers,
Mm-hmm.
and here come mortars.
They come right back at you.
Yeah. That's the mortar of my health company.
I don't know. How old is your youngest?
32.
Already?
Yep, he'll be 33.
There's more stuff that's in there, but I don't know if you can read it, see it or not.
He'll be 40 this next year.
Jesse Kim is 40. Now she's 50. Changed it twice.
All right. That should be legible there.
And
She looks pretty young.
I knew some of these guys. One of them was from Chattanooga, Tennessee. When we were discharged, we had about an hour or two to lay over, coming back home. And he wanted us to go up to his house, and because he lived there in Chattanooga, we went up to spend probably about 30 minutes feeding his parents. One of these guys here, and someone from West Virginia. But I don't know why his granddad brother was interested in this picture here. But that's what they said he was looking for. See, when I had a computer, I got a lot of pictures from this guy from the Netherlands. He's raised in Brest, France, and he had pictures of Brest, France, and all through Germany. And I had hundreds of pictures of before the war, during the war, and I lost them on that computer.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And so I never did get another computer, so I never was in contact with him anymore. Yeah.
Well, how did you lose them on the computer? Hard drive crash?
Yeah.
Mm.
And Dusty Dunner's boy was supposed to have got it on a CD, you know. And if it is, it's in some of Kim's down there, and if she ever finds it by then, we'd be lucky. But
Yeah.
I have the pictures of, but I don't know where they're at.
How would you say that experience changed you?
Well, I think it affected my brain and everything about me, because I didn't drink, I didn't smoke, I didn't do anything. I come back to the States after I was discharged, and before I knew it, I was drinking. I mean, it just changed my life in every way. And I had nightmares. I'd wake Daddy and Mother up hollering, screaming, because they'd be like in the town, like Haddonville, some of those towns. They'd be shelling the town and tearing the town up, you know. It just messed up your whole system.
Mm-hmm. And you were 18 when you went over?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you were what? When you went into Korea, you were what, about 20?
Oh no, I went into Korea. I went in there in 50, so I was born in 24. I must have been, what, 24, 25 when I went into Korea.
Okay. So, with you having gone through that already, and now going to Korea, what were you thinking?
Crazy. I was thinking that we were going to knock them off, because they told us over there A&E over, and they just had a pitchfork army.
Mm-hmm.
And we got over there and had a T-34 brand new Russian tanks. We had them wore out Sherman tanks, and all our old trucks was wore out, breaking down.
And then when you found out that they were more equipped and better trained than you thought,
You had to stay there, you were there.
yeah.
Until time my rotation to come back, which is 14 months later.
But sometimes you have to have those meetings.
I was up and down that island, and not the island, Peninsula,
Planning and the changes they're going to make.
from Pusan all the way up to,
How would you, just from having been in those, how different was the two wars?
well, with me, I was in the combat engineers, the other time I was in the infantry.
Okay.
There's no comparison on it. I was in the headquarters company there, and I wasn't putting the guys, no river crossings or anything. I had it better in Korea than I did in World War II. I was up front all the time, in World War II. And I was just taking material up the front and back. Of course, all of our guys got ambushed, over there all the time, because you run those back gravel roads. They were way outdated. It was a crummy place to be. But I was fortunate, I never got, well, we got always shot at, but they never, a group of them ever come in and shot up the whole convoy, like it did some of the convoys. So I was fortunate there.
So your job was much better for you for safety-wise in Korea.
Well, I think so.
Yeah.
Now the guys in the infantry, they had it rough.
You was on a ship going over there then.
Yeah.
How long was that ride?
Well, it's been some, I don't remember it correctly, but it was over a week.
Over a
From
week?
New York, and went to, I believe it was Scotland, and then trained down to, close to by London.
Oh, this is a.
Went to a little camp there off the canal, English Canal, and then went down and put us on a small ship and crossed to France.
Okay.
See, I was a replacement for the invasion.
Right.
And then went around, and my first real battle was Brest, France. Hill 154, we got a President's Unit citation for taking the observation hill. It covered, from that hill they could see all surrounding around Brest. Any movement, they just dropped that heavy artillery on us. So we took it and lost quite a few people. But we got a President Unit citation. That's that big metal, ribbon was a blue in the center. Well, my battalion has two of them.
Okay.
With them.
Those some big accomplishments for your battalion.
Oh yeah, and we got one also at Rock Rest during the Bulge. So we have two. My battalion,
Yeah.
which I was part of.
Yeah, it is.
Now, when you went to Korea, did you go on a boat there too?
Yeah, I flew from Philippines, Japan. We hit a storm and had an updraft and downdraft, jerked the seats loose, and broke 2 or 3 guys' feet, and knocked the stewardess out, and all of that gear come loose and ceiling. And we stopped in Okinawa and just had one strand. I'm at control the tail. Yeah,
Just one
strand, they said, and we stayed over about a day repairing it and then flew on into Japan. We actually went down. And then from Japan, we was on the road trains, went over to the, I don't remember the name of the town, but anyway, on the water, and went over in a fishing boat. Had straw for beds. Japanese fishing boat to Korea. And
cool. So, like I said, I asked you a minute ago on that. Of course, you had quite a few miracles that you had mentioned just while the camera was off a little bit. Would you mind sharing a couple of the what you would call a miracle that you experienced during that time?
Well, I know when I was a scout, and I was quite sure there's a machine gun set up in the corner of this hedgerow.
Now, are you supposed to
When
use a key?
went from one hedgerow to the other, of course, had the other men follow me.
Sometimes when
I went over the hedgerow.
One
One time it was about 4 or 5 men on a machine gun there, and they just waited there and gave up.
He said, "Get your
Now,
walk."
that was a
I said, "No,
miracle.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna get used to."
And I know another time it was 14. Over that hedgerow, and all gave up when I went over it.
I had to start using it again.
Without doing much.
I told myself,
They was ready to give up and quit, you know.
I'm gonna walk without it.
And that was okay with you.
Oh, yeah, I didn't make me mad. No, I was happy about that.
Yeah. That's a pretty amazing thing to happen there.
And like I say, I had travel
Yes, he did.
holes all in my clothes several times. And of course, when the infantry running, they're firing on you, mortars coming, you hit the ground. I messed my knees and shins up. They were bloody. I still have scars on that. That's part of my problem now. I'm walking, bad knees from messing them up back in.
But you never was wounded.
No.
That's pretty amazing itself.
But I had a shrapnel cut my shoe down through it, but didn't.
You can't get any closer than that.
No.
Wow. I do appreciate.
And like I say, we had 4,200. It may have been more than that. Now died from the wounds in my division, dead. They got killed, and 15,000 wounded, combat wounded, and 10,000 non-combat. That was just, well, I think it's about 1,200 in the division, something like that.
And
So
yeah.
you had a big turnover.
That was more than a division. Number of them that was.
Oh
there,
yeah. And no, that's 2 or 3 divisions. You count
You
the
did.
wounded, and
Yeah.
but see, you get 4 wounds. Wounded 4 times, you come back to States. But we had some guys wounded 4 different times, and they'd send them back to States.
Huh.
But some of them got themselves wounded on a sea ration can. But I had to go. When my knees were bleeding, I'd call the medics, and I'd had 3 or 4. But I didn't want to go. I thought I might get the big one if I started trying to get the little ones, you know.
Yeah.
And
So, I appreciate your time. If sharing with this with me, Uncle James. If
well, so much of it now I forgot, you know,
yeah,
the time and what happened.
well, what would one thing sum it all up? You think? All that experience, if you were to just say that's what it all wraps up to be, how would you describe it? Just fear?
Yeah, I was scared from day one.
Yeah.
I was an old country farm boy and scared, but everybody else was too. And like I say, a lot of them they never made it up to the front. Artillery or something would get them before they would get up there. And usually you wouldn't try to get too friendly with the new guys come in, because so often they wouldn't last a week. They'd either be killed or wounded, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They're in Arizona.
Did you ever feel any guilt of surviving?
No, I don't think so.
I know some people
I wondered why the Lord protected me and didn't take some of the others, you know.
In Wisconsin also.
But I mean, I never felt guilt because I made it through, and they didn't.
There's always a reason.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that someday you'll know it.
Yeah, well, the reason I'd come back so she could take care of me, I guess.
That's it.
Spend the night, but let her spend the day. She come out there at 6 o'clock in the morning and stay at 8 at night.
Well, when you've been married as long as the 2 of you have been, it's hard to be apart.
She ain't. I know the other time Stay how many, 21 days?
31 days.
How many,
31 days.
up the other
They're
day?
town.
You get a bed up there.
Yeah. I had a bed right beside his.
That's nice. That made it easier.
He put in.
Is
Yeah.
that right?
You don't have a kid hard like that girl.
No.
She
She's a,
take care of us just like we.
she's a good girl. I mean, look how often she's been over here already today, this whole
She'll be
weekend.
back after a while. She said, I'll see you tonight.
She'll be back.
Yeah, she's been here